So there was one thing, the last piece of weird news. I didn't know if you knew this. I didn't know this. Back in 2017, Gatorade was banned and fined $300,000 for bad-mouthing water in a video game.
Toy Story?
Gatorade.
Toy Story?
Oh, I keep the Toy Story one around just because it is a great reminder to Aaron to always pay attention, because you never know when I will pull something out, make an intro, and it will live on in somewhat infamy, and Aaron will then regret his life choices from then on going forward.
I'm trying to think. I don't know what I got distracted with that day. But
Obviously, you got distracted with Toy Story.
Yeah. Don't know how that came to mind, but as we were just talking before, how about me trying to play video games and do an episode? If I couldn't concentrate with just a laptop in front of me, okay.
There's no way you're doing a video game. Well, thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Use Your Words Podcast. My name is Paul, and of course, always joined by one Mr. Aaron Johnson. There's no woo to intercept his talking this time.
Woo.
And there has been a lot of craziness happening in this past month or so. Even these past couple weeks, let's be honest, in the United States and the world in general. We've had everything from Texas being stuck in a deep blizzard. We have, firings over at Disney Plus and the phrase cancel Disney Plus trending on Twitter. You have people in the MMA sport getting called racist over Disney Plus firings. It's just been an interesting time all around. You have people saying that Cruz is... And when I say Cruz, Ted Cruz Yeah, Ted Cruz is evil because he went down to Cancun with his daughter.
With his daughters. He came back.
During a time of blizzard stuff.
He came back.
Okay, wagging your finger. You have the Times story recently of fortifying the election, and then you have Chris Cuomo, and it's coming out about how maybe some numbers may not have been reported correctly. So, like I said, it's been an interesting month all around. We've, obviously, if you've been listening this month, you will recognize that all those things are things we're talking about this month. So, It's not really this month. It's by the time this comes out, it's the end of February. So, yeah, craziness and bounds. February timeframe is just weird all around. We'll put it that way. But regardless of the fact, this week we're talking about something, and then that something is going to evolve into something else, and then that something else is going to evolve into something else, and then by the end we will not be sure what we're talking about.
Sounds about right.
And I say that as Aaron is looking around the room like, what? As he's being distracted by his own lights.
No.
So Aaron,
what?
Are you a fan of The Mandalorian?
Used to be. I'm kidding. No, I'm sure I would still enjoy it. I started watching. I think I got up to episode 5 in the second season.
Okay.
But that was. It was at the good old brewer's house, and we kept falling asleep while watching it. So probably need to rewatch a lot of that. But
gotcha.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I hated the spider scene thingamabobbers, spider things.
Of course you did.
That was gross. But overall, I'd say, I didn't have anything I didn't like about it.
Okay.
I'm a very easy to please as far as movies and stuff. Like, I'll watch it, but okay, that was cool. And not really
you're not wrong on that. That you're easy to please on on a lot of things. Watch what you eat, what you drink, what you listen to, what you play as video games, what you read. Oh wait, you don't read.
That one.
Okay.
There's a couple books that I think I've read that I've enjoyed, but that's few and far between.
Who are you?
I don't know.
Not going to go down that tangent right now. Okay. I was just curious because I have never seen The Mandalorian. I've never watched it. Mm-hmm. I had for the longest time as part of my cell phone plan, active subscription to Disney Plus. It came with it. Right. And I was like, whatever. And then the whole thing with, where they recorded Mulan came out last year, and that did not sit well with me at all. So are you familiar with that, about the whole Mulan controversy?
No.
Okay. So in China, and so congratulations, this episode is banned in China, 100%, guaranteed. Not monetized there at all. Not monetized anywhere. But regardless of that, so in China, what they're doing, you've heard of the Uyghur Muslim camps, right?
I have seen that or heard of.
Yeah, you've heard of that. Obviously, you haven't seen it in person.
No, the only thing I've seen as far as that goes was there's apparently a video of, was it Uyghurs, like with, I don't know, their eyes blindfolded, kneeling on the ground, and there's like Chinese soldiers or something around them, and it was not a good looking situation. I don't know, but I don't know. That could be something different. I don't know.
Right. So, but you are right about
I'm
that.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, so you're familiar with all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's been a controversy that's been going on for a little while now, where how do we put it lightly? No, you can't put it lightly. Essentially, they're running concentration camps.
Yeah.
So, this will get me in trouble because it got Gina in trouble. So
what if you lose your job?
No.
Don't lose your job, Paul.
This isn't going to make me lose my job.
Please
Trust
don't.
me, we already hit that mark. If anything, but
Oh no! Good thing I'm at speed tech. Shoot, I ain't got much to lose.
No. So here's the deal. You remember back in World War II, the Nazis put the Jews into concentration camps. Yes, remember that part of World War II history. Everyone says that is a horrible thing, except for those who are deniers that ever happened, which is just, I find weird that anyone would ever deny the concentration camps and the whole Holocaust thing, right?
Yeah.
So we as a whole, as a world, as a society have said, this is bad. This should not be done. And then over in China, where they're doing exactly the same thing to the Uyghur Muslims. I don't agree theology-wise with what Muslims believe, but I still do not believe that anyone, regardless of your religion, your race, your origin, your creed, your orientation, your hair color, your skin color, your eye color, your tooth sharpness, whatever. Oh, wow. I don't know. I'm going down to crazy levels here, okay? I don't believe anyone should ever be put in concentration camp. Never, ever. That is not acceptable. But yet here in, I shouldn't say here in the U.S., but over in China, they have all these Uyghur Muslims in these concentration camps, and the world, for a lot of the part, is just kind of like ignoring it. Kind of like we did at the onset of World War II, where we kind of ignored things in the beginning, and then
it got nasty.
Well, it's even when it started, that should have been nasty enough for us to intercede.
Oh, right, you would think so.
But yet here in China, we're doing the same repeat, right? Well, Mulan filmed in China. Parts of it in China. In the credits for Mulan, they thanked a group that was linked to these detention camps, in quotes, concentration camps that are hosting in quotes, holding the Uyghur Muslims. So the group that is linked to running these camps is thanked by Disney for their support and their help in getting some filming done in China. So that was the first thing that just rubbed me wrong, like just straight up rubbed me wrong. And now when you go to Disney Plus, your old classic TV shows, like or not TV shows, movies. Remember Peter Pan?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I guess
the animated version.
Yeah, I always remember Hook more than that one.
Okay, but remember,
I do.
Some of those classic movies that you have on there, Peter Pan. I'm trying to remember. There's a couple others I can't remember off the top of the list. But anyways, what they did was they took those movies and they put a parental advisory warning on them.
Okay.
Because, and to be fair, I'm not bashing them fully. Mm-hmm. This is, I would say, a symptom of our culture right now. Mm-hmm. But they have these parental advisories on them because they have some outdated stereotypes in them. Okay.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. But it's like, oh, everything now has to be parental advisory, trigger warning, everything like that.
No, it's not going to be a thing without it.
That's happening, and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, da 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 da, and then,
Then what?
and then Gina Carano.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, Aaron, you know what Gina Carano? Well, at least most of this, right? Well, all that's going on with that.
She got canceled for posts on social media, as far as I know.
She got canceled. Okay, so why don't you define that?
She got fired.
She got fired from?
She got out of the Mandalorian.
Yep.
Disney got rid of her. Lucasfilm said something about they wouldn't, because they were going to have an exclusive thing with her, I thought, for like a show or something like that. But anything that involved her with Lucasfilms has all been canceled and will not be, as far as I know, considered.
Well, Lucasfilms is owned by Disney.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, if Disney gets rid of them, then, yeah, Lucasfilms can't do nothing anyway. So, yeah, that's about the gist of it.
So, when you say she got canceled and fired, so Gina Carano, what Aaron didn't specify here, she was a supporting character on The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yep.
I forget. I don't know her character's name because obviously I'd never watched it. But apparently she was really popular. Her character was really popular.
Yeah, well, I thought I had seen something about, is it Hasbro?
Yeah.
They had the action figures, but now those are no longer.
Yeah, so Hasbro is pulling the action figures of Gina's character off the shelves. But by far, the action figure was probably one of the better selling of the Mandalorian action figure toys.
Yeah.
She was a popular character, even though she wasn't the star of the series. And she was, now what I find ridiculous, according to Gina, she said that she was not aware that she was fired until she saw it on social media. So she wasn't contacted directly. She found out through various Twitter posts and that she had been fired from Lucasfilms, essentially. And then afterwards she got in contact, and got, the proper channels and be like, hey, am I really fired? Oh, I am. Cool.
Thanks,
Lucasfilms.
Nope. That's stupid.
So, do you know why? What post of hers made the attention that caused her to be fired?
Wasn't it the Holocaust one?
So there was
that the one that
Well, there were three things that really kind of contributed.
The Bebop Boop and the Bebop Boop one.
Okay, explain Bebop Boop. Because you're just saying words, and people are like, why is he saying Bebop Boop? What does this mean?
It has to do with robots overcoming the world. Just kidding, that's not at all what it is. It had to do with, like, I guess, apparently belittling, like, the pronouns or something like that, or names, the preferred pronouns of people.
Yeah, so what it was is, maybe about a year, 2 years, maybe even ago, it started becoming real popular where people, especially celebrities, would put their pronouns inside of Twitter, he, him, his, that sort of thing. And she just put as a joke, beep, bop, boop, whatever. Yeah. And she even said afterwards, she's like, you know what? I had no understanding of these pronoun things. She's like, it's weird. I don't understand it. And she's like, I didn't understand how I offended someone. So once they told me that it was offensive, she's like, okay, fine, whatever. And she took it down. She didn't fight it.
No.
So that was strike one against her. Mm-hmm. Strike two. This was her tweet.
What was the second one?
Her tweet was from early November. And she said that this was early November and that the election system need to be fixed.
Oh.
So here's her tweet from November 5th, 2020. We need to clean up the election process. We are not left feeling the way we do today. Put laws in place to protect us against voter fraud. Investigate every state. Film the counting. Flush out the fake votes. Require ID. Make voter fraud end in 2020. Fix the system. Little American flag emoji symbol. But that
is awful.
Yes, that is definitely awful. And so that falls under all the social media things of you can't talk about there potentially being election fraud.
Which is weird. I don't know if
It's
this
really weird, especially because considering that Time article that talked about how there was a secret cabal that fortified the election, which we talked about in another episode.
Yeah.
So you have this whole thing. Well, what's funny about this? Okay, so Tim Pool, he quoted a tweet that quoted part of the article, about fortifying the election, and Twitter flagged it saying this is false information. The election was not stolen in any way. And he's like, I am quoting essentially an article written by Time.
Right.
This is an off the wall opinion, and it's just like,
see, and gosh, because I thought, for like Steven Crowder or whatever, for as far as YouTube goes, like he can mention that there could have been some kind of like voter fraud happening, but he can't say it affected the election.
right.
Otherwise, it would be flagged or taken down, whatever.
Exactly.
So I don't.
There's also there's a
understand.
whole lot of components with this, right?
Yeah.
So that was strike 2 for her, essentially. Strike 3, which caused everything to just kind of boil over, for there to be this whole thing on Twitter about, hey, we need to cancel you, sort of deal. The whole thing about fire Gina just started going all over Twitter and everything. Was an Instagram post. And this is what she said. She said, and this is a case, of course you haven't seen this before. She said, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Sad face emoji. And then she quoted something, and I'm not sure where this quote from. And she didn't explain where this quote from, so I don't know if you can attribute to her or whatnot, and I haven't seen anyone who has found where this quote came from. But anyways, it said, because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views?
Right.
Now, she's not calling for a return to Nazi Germany and rounding up people. She's not calling for any of that. She's just saying, hey, you know what? There's some horrifying parallels between the ideology of the political split, and you can argue both sides of this political split. You can't say it's just one side or the other anymore. It's both sides, unfortunately, where it's like, oh, you don't agree with me? I'm now going to beat you in the streets.
You're done.
Dunzo. She's not making light of the fact that the Holocaust happened. She's not making light of the fact. She's just saying this is a horrible mirroring of this.
And do you have like just the actual post pulled up? Because then for what I have pulled up, what is showing right now, it's someone on Twitter had like reposted it and saying, did she just compare the Holocaust to being a Republican? # fire Gina Carano. And
she didn't say that in there. All she's saying is
like
political hatred, and that can be on both sides.
Yeah. I just love how they this person automatically jumps to that assumption. And that's like, well, then why do you assume that if there's some truth to that?
Well, and I could see why they might jump to that assumption.
I can
because
see why.
Gina is on that conservative side. She supports the whole idea of businesses and churches should be able to open up and set essentially their own rules for how they want to handle things during the pandemic. She makes fun of the whole thing about, wearing multiple masks,
Oh, yeah.
She believes, and again, I don't know if this is so much conspiracy theory, but she believes that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. I kind of fall in the line of he probably didn't kill himself.
Right. But I don't know. It is. This is irritating. It's so irritating.
What's that?
I don't know. The whole cancel culture type bullcrap. Because, I don't know. And as far as like the whole voting thing went, granted, this is more just, the one side versus the other, but like the Dems were so fixed on saying that the election was stolen in Trump's favor for 2016. So it's like, what's the issue with trying to look at this election and see if this one was potentially messed with in Biden's favor? Like, I don't know. There's no accountability with.
Yeah, and there's some people who are calling for, and I agree with this, as much as this would suck, because my world is all automation. I automate everything. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. But what a lot of people are calling for now is a return to paper-only ballots.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Those can be audited. Those can be traced. Those can be tracked.
Yeah.
Those can be hand-counted manually, not relying on software, which can be updated and manipulated. Yeah, I know it sucks. But we have to do something, is what they're saying, to secure our elections. Now, however that occurs, that's going to take talk between both parties. This cannot be a single-party thing, because here's the thing. A single party could ram it through easily, but then the other party is not going to trust it. Those I didn't say the left can ram it through, and the right won't trust it. It doesn't matter which side rams it through, because the other side is not going to trust it.
To get something like that through, it'd have to go through the process of just about anything else, where it goes through the House and the Senate and stuff like that.
Which is all controlled by the Democrats right now.
Right now, yeah.
So that's what I say. That's what I said.
It can't be one side.
One side, if they ram it through, it's just going to cause issues. But
so I don't know. But yeah, again, there shouldn't be any issue with making sure our election process is, thorough.
Well,
regardless of the
I just find it ironic, people are like, "Oh, you can't ask for voter ID at the polls because that's racist." But you know what they want to do now? Before you can go on a concert or go on a plane or go on a boat, they want to see your vaccination records. That's what some companies are talking about. They're like, we need to see proof of your vaccination before you're allowed to go to this concert or go on this airplane or go here or go there. We need to see that proof, that ID of yours that you are vaccinated. Oh, but don't ask for an ID to vote.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I guess I'm never going to a concert again.
So that was like, when I read that, my mind just kind of, I think, sputtered to a stop, because it couldn't handle just the two-sidedness of that comment. That, hey, guess what? You're expected to show ID to be able to go to a concert or anything else, but to vote? No, just come on in. And my brain goes, because they say it's racist if you ask for an ID for you to go vote.
That's
because poor people are, according to their argument, minorities are usually poorer. That's their argument. And because they're minorities and they're poor, they don't have access and don't know how to get an ID.
I feel like just having that mentality is racist then.
I know, but you say that and they're like, no, I want that. I'm not racist at all.
It's like, why would you have that as a thought? Then do something about it to help minorities or the poorer areas be able to get one.
Yep. Just like in Wisconsin, what we did. We institute a thing where if you need an ID, just an ID to like vote in that, you can get one for free.
Well, that's good. You should be able to have one for free.
Yeah. Wisconsin's like, we're not going to give you a driver's license for free necessarily, but you need an ID. So
some sort of ID.
So you can vote in that. Guess what? Ta-da! Congratulations. And I know there are other states that do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just a voter registration ID type thing.
Right.
It's like, hey, at least for this, we're going to offer this to you for free. We're not like we're in the olden days. We're in the olden days, and when I talk olden days, I'm talking like early times in the U.S., okay?
Okay.
Where in order to vote, you had to be a landowner.
Oh, wow. Well, then I wouldn't be able to vote.
So, that was back in the olden days. Mm-hmm. Elections were different back then. Nowadays we vote directly for our senators. Before, it was you voted for the House,
mm-hmm.
The national House. You voted for your local government, and then your local and state government voted and selected the senators.
Mm.
So there's more consequence to local elections. Now it's just a popular vote for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the most popular? Who is the most liked? And who is the most everything? But so Gina got canceled. She got fired from Disney. whoop-de-doo, right? And a lot of people all of a sudden were going, oh, cancel Disney Plus, cancel Disney Plus, cancel Disney Plus. And that actually got trending on Twitter for a couple days. Nice. The whole cancel Disney Plus. Me, I actually, and this was unrelated to this completely. I had switched off my phone plan last month.
Sure.
So, like, very beginning of the year. Yeah. Before any of this even happened. So I didn't even have Disney Plus to go, like, cancel. I was like, "Aw."
You just knew it was coming. That's why you switched.
Yes, I can see the future.
See, it sucks. I would probably, if I owned Disney Plus, at that point, I probably would cancel it. But I also hate doing that because it's like if I like genuinely enjoy something that they provide for entertainment for me to watch, I don't want to give that up.
Yeah.
But I look at it in two ways. One, it'll save me more money. It'll keep in the bank.
Yep.
Not that it would be that much, but enough. I mean, I guess when you look at how long you have it and how much you've spent over time on it, but that, I mean, I don't know.
But here's the thing about this,
what?
As you're kind of thinking through this a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the things that, people complain about cancel culture all the time. They're like, we don't like cancel culture. We don't like this. Or some people go, oh, I love cancel culture because it allows me to exert influence on things and get people I don't like removed.
Out of here.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the biggest things that we can do to kind of, I guess you could say, combat this cancel culture idea is the cancel Disney Plus. At the end of the day, it may not seem like it's a lot, but if Disney all of a sudden sees they're losing a bunch of subscribers, that's going to hit them in the pocketbooks.
Yeah.
That's going to make them concerned. That's going to make them scared. And that's how you vote. You vote with your dollars. You vote with your feet. In fact, I think there's a little clip I have here.
Yeah.
From John Cooper, not of Skyrat fame.
No.
Definitely not of Skyrat fame. Of Skillet fame. And he had a little 10-minute talk this past week about cancel culture as a whole and everything. And he had a couple good points in there. And one of the points, I'm not going to get into that clip because you can't use too long of a clips in fair use arguments and things. But he talks about Nick Cannon last year. Nick Cannon, where he made those very racist remarks about how the less melanin you have in your skin, the more akin, the more of an animal you are, the more akin you are to an animal, and that's why you fail and all that, right? Well, he got fired from all of his shows over that finally. But
finally,
6 months later, he was rehired to them all, and all was forgiven.
Oh,
so it comes down to this whole thing of Nick Cooper kind of points this out. It's like if you espouse the beliefs that essentially the majority of the population believes, aka, whites are dumb, whites are, not needed, whites are whatever. That's actually a thing out there right now, unfortunately. Then even if you say it and you get people mad at you, the mob will quiet down and let you come back. But if you say something on the conservative side of the aisle, potentially, that is counterculture to it, you will never be forgiven. So how do you address all this? How do you vote what the things are that continue on? Well, one of the things you can do is you can vote with your dollars. Don't give money to anything that Nick Cannon does. Therefore, they will see that he is not profitable. Give money to whatever Gina Carano does. And all of a sudden they will go, oops, we are sorry for canceling her because we are not getting that money.
She's bringing that's sickening to me, I guess. I mean, the whole phrase money talks. Yeah.
Yeah, money talks.
And it makes me sick to think that that's all that it takes for some people to change their opinion.
Yep. So let's listen to what John has to say. Yes. It's just a few moments here.
Smart man.
Look, it's time for us to start putting our money where our mouth is. What I mean by this is this. You get to vote, and I'm not talking about politics. You get to vote by what you spend your money on. That's how you vote. That's how you have a say. And I think that it's time for not just conservatives, but even people in the middle, people who consider themselves kind of be in the middle, even center left, okay, center right, Christians, conservatives. It's time for us, I believe, to start voting by what you spend your money on. I think it's worth looking at. We're in a time where people are being canceled depending on their political beliefs, their Christian beliefs, things like that. Now, before I jump into this, I'm well aware of it, that it's the right that talks about cancel culture. And I do know on the left that the left kind of views cancel culture as either A, non-existent, or B, not like a big deal, C, overwrought, like conservatives are making all this, big hay out of nothing, or they're complaining, their victim is victimhood, cancel culture, victimhood, whatever.
So he goes on for more than that. He calls it a 10-minute talk, but in this one it's actually a 15-minute talk. So, he goes on, he makes a lot of good points in there. So I don't hold him against that for going that long. But he makes that point of, you got to put your money where your mouth is, where your beliefs are. Because where the money is where the businesses will go. And where the money is where the businesses will say, okay, that's allowed. Nope, that's not allowed. Nope, yep, And honestly, that's one of the best ways to fight back against cancel culture.
Yeah.
What did Gina do after she got fired from Disney Plus? What did she do?
Oh, that I don't know.
Well, she has a new movie coming out in 2022.
She does?
Yeah.
Oh.
So the Daily Wire.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Aaron with a back issue. The Daily Wire, which is a conservative news /media /entertainment outlet, and it's run by one Mr. Ben Shapiro. Do you know who Ben Shapiro is?
Yeah, I do know who that is.
Who is he?
Yeah. He's like the Jewish conservative guy.
The Jewish conservative guy. Okay, that's one way you can put it. He always talks real fast, and he always has to talk like this. He's always moving his hands while he's talking real fast. Yeah.
He's a fast talker.
Yeah,
oh,
but
boy.
So he knows full well why she got canceled and culled from Disney Plus and everything. And he actually saw the post and he's like, I see nothing wrong with this.
Yeah, and I was watching because he had like it might have been just a segment from one of his podcasts, but it had to do with the whole cancellation thing, and he made a comment of he hates Holocaust comparisons to like times and today and stuff like that. But for this one, he's like,
yeah, because there are some people who just do it flippantly, like, oh, this must be what the Jews felt like in the Holocaust, when it's something that's just a minor inconvenience. Yeah. And it's like, hold on, no.
You have no idea.
Yeah. Now, if it's something like, hey, this political divide is causing people to go against their own neighbors, against their own families.
Right.
And you have legislative members who voted to impeach Trump, the second time, and they're Republicans. And their family members are disowning them, saying that they are a member of Satan's army.
Oh my God!
That happened to a House representative just down in it's a House or Senate representative down in Illinois. National House or Senate, I forget which one, but he was a Republican that voted to impeach Trump in the second round, and his family essentially said, "You are of the Satan's army.
Ugh.
Be gone from our family." Essentially. Like, they just completely disowned him. And that is horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're getting to the point where family against family over who you voted for or how you voted and what your political belief is. And that's not conducive for a healthy culture as a whole, let alone a healthy family.
Yeah, that's not one I'd want to be a part of.
So, when she says that, hey, back in Nazi Germany, people were turning on each other, beating each other in the street if they were Jews. And look, Maxine Waters was like, if you see a Republican, make them feel unwelcome, make them, harass them essentially. And it's like, yeah, we're getting to that point, unfortunately. But back to what I was getting at here. So, Ben Shapiro, he kind of he's one of the big players at the Daily Wire.
Yeah.
I almost called it Daily Writer. It's the Daily Wire. Big Jewish guy. Mm-hmm. They actually just released their first film this past year, or like the past couple months. It's like Run, Fight, Hide, I think it was.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
No.
But apparently got some good reviews from now. good reviews. I don't know the people reviewing if they're all conservative
I was gonna
or
say, who's the reviewer?
Who's the
for
reviewer?
this?
Yeah. So take that with a grain of salt. But from various people I've heard, Run, Fight, Hide, decent, at least decent.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Christian movies of the early 90s or earlier where it was just like yeah. It was just real bad. Yeah. So that's good. So what they did was, because I know Daily Wire has been, I don't know if you know this or not, but Daily Wire has been wanting to get into like more entertainment type things. They want to start making more movies and that.
Okay.
Well, after Gina Carano got canceled, they reached out to her and said,
"Hey, let's do something."
They're like, "Hey, would you like to produce a movie and or star in a movie?"
It's kind of hard to say no right now.
And she was like, "Yep." And she now partnered up with Daily Wire, and they are expected to release a movie next year. At least being produced, maybe potentially starring her.
Yeah.
But
so it's not like she's got any other jobs at the moment probably lined up for her. I mean, she might. Who knows? But
she could always go back to MMA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Dana White got into a whole bunch of trouble just over all that stuff, too. Because for those of you who are not aware, Gina Carano used to be an MMA fighter in the UFC. So, she's pretty bulky. She's built pretty well. She's strong.
That's somebody I would not want to fight.
Exactly. Aaron would lose and cry like a little baby. So would I. So that's okay. Anyways, so they were at a UFC press conference. A UFC press conference, which Gina Carano hasn't been in for a little while. Okay?
Right.
And the staff there goes, one of the reporters asked Dana White and goes, "Hey, so what about this Gina Carano thing?" And he just went off on that reporter. And actually, this whole thing with everything, he goes essentially, leave her alone. We all make mistakes. Leave her alone. I'm paraphrasing what he said. That's not a direct quote, obviously. But he's just like, leave her alone. We all do things and we all need to, work at our own lives and that. And then because of that, I love this tweet.
Oh, no.
It just, So two things came out of this.
Yeah.
First, this tweet. Dana White, you mansplained Gina Carano.
You what?
You mansplained Gina Carano.
Mansplained.
You know what mansplaining is, right?
Maybe not. Mansplained.
To mansplain is for a man to explain something to a woman in a condescending manner, particularly when the woman is an expert on the subject.
Huh. Okay. How did he mansplain?
They go, you mansplain because she knew what she said. How do you know what she said?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the first thing that came out about from that, right? Mm-hmm. Then the second thing. This was an article that came out, and I have never heard of this news organization before, surprisingly. But that being said, they have green marks across the board from the good old NewsGuard. And the headline says, "Is Dana White racist? UFC chief slammed for supporting Gina Carano after she was fired." So now because he supports Gina Carano,
Yeah.
he's
a racist.
He is racist.
How? I hate how it's like, I don't know. That word now is just used like there's no value in that word anymore. I feel like it's just meaningless for how much they throw it out there and try and label it on people. It's dumb.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is,
you have no evidence to back that up either.
It's like, remember that old story I should say old story, but that story when you were young, Chicken Little?
Ish. Kind of. I don't know.
You at least remember
falling from the sky.
But you at least remember the premise of it, right? Where it's like, the chicken keeps going around saying, "Oh, the sky's falling, da 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 da," Or The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Yeah.
Okay, you say the lie long enough, eventually the lie loses its potency and loses its power. And then when something like that actually does happen, everyone's going to look at you and be like, what? And you know what? That sucks. Because we have people who really do suffer from racist attacks, people who really are sexually abused, people who really are attacked for, living a different lifestyle, people who really are attacked for being overweight, underweight, whatever. Mm-hmm. But everyone abusing every other phrase and claiming victimhood at the drop of the slightest offense.
Yeah, it's
waters it down, because all I hear every day, in all honesty,
is racist. That's racist.
Which is bad, because the real things of racism
are just going to get worse then.
Well, I wouldn't say worse.
I feel like
it's harder to bring attention to them.
Well, I guess in that sense, it's, I guess in my mind, it's when you use a word like that so much and water it down, it's like when that stuff actually starts happening, and people try and talk out about it, it's, oh, you're just being dramatic or overreacting to some point.
Yeah.
And then, you're just going to have, at that point, I feel like over time, people see either one, they can get away with it more, and then it might just get worse again. I don't know. That's a thought in my mind, but.
Yep.
Ugh. And then, they're just going to find a new word that they think is worse, and then they'll abuse that word until it's worthless again, and then it was whatever.
Yeah, so apparently, Ben Shapiro is Gina's new boss now, essentially, since she's kind of hired by them, right?
Right.
And apparently she sat down. So I don't know if you know this. Ben Shapiro releases at least every couple of weeks. I don't know if every week. Where he releases like a sit-down interview with some people, and he did that with Gina Carano. So if you're interested in hearing more directly from her, go listen to Ben Shapiro's Sunday weekly interview show with her on it. And you will get some more of the low down, no good, dirty deeds that happen behind the scenes that she talks about. And it's just interesting to watch as this all goes on. And everyone is so fine with everyone being canceled through everything. But as soon as it comes for them at their front door, oh no, do not cancel me. How big meanie you are.
Yeah.
And you have examples of that where people are like, cancel this person, get rid of them, fire them, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden someone finds, oh, they work at a comic book store, and then turns it back on them, and they go, why would you do this to me? And they go, oh, wait, this is what it's like to do. Nope, they don't have that realization that that's what it's like to do that to other people.
Right.
So you have all those things going on, and I find it interesting when it's thrown on the other foot that people go, ah! But it takes it being thrown on their foot, which sucks.
Yeah.
I would hope that people will start to realize this is not the way to go forward. This is not how you resolve conflict and how you resolve something where someone hurts your feelings. You don't go, you hurt my feelings, therefore I want you destroyed and fired. No, that's not how real... That's not how grown-ups work in reality.
Shouldn't be.
Well, it shouldn't be, yeah.
It's there.
It is how, let me rephrase that. That is how people work in reality now. That's not how they should be. It shouldn't be going, no, it should be, hey, you know what? You hurt my feelings. Let's talk about it instead of destroy their lives.
Right. Yeah. Or I hate the whole... And I get it. It's going to happen. All of us, I would have to say, have done it. But it is just reacting in a certain way just based off of a feeling. It's such a dangerous thing to do, in my opinion. Because, one, I don't know. Gosh, that could go off into a whole different thing. But it's, yeah. Feelings are annoying. I hate them.
Yeah, feelings can be annoying at times, but
but it's a good thing.
But it's what makes us human, and it makes us know that we are doing something.
Right.
But that's interesting to bring up feelings.
Oh no! What now?
So this quote that she posted on her Twitter obviously triggered some people. So this is she's quoting author T.B. LaBerge, Laberge. I am horrible with saying names,
That's
so
okay.
I'm just saying I could be butchering the name. It could be LeBron, and I have no idea. That's literally how bad it could be for me. Like it could be spelled out easily, easy to say word, and I go. Bleh.
It's got to be something fancy.
But anyways, so here is what the quote says, and I want to hear your thoughts on this afterwards. If you are silent about your beliefs because you are worried someone will be offended, then your beliefs are not that important to you, but rather what people think about you is. What people see about you will speak more loudly than how people feel about you, because in the end, when we stand up for what is right and true, we will have many who hate us or love us, but all will know that what we are fighting for.
It's pretty solid. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I guess going just from a Christian standpoint, I mean, depending on what it is, that could be if there's something going on that would be against I guess my beliefs, and I just sit there silently about it. I mean, I would say then at that point that is something that's not it's not important to me, or I'm just a coward. Nah, that could very well be it too. I mean, yeah.
Well, and that's what that's saying.
Yeah.
If you're more worried about what someone thinks about you,
Yeah.
than standing up for your own beliefs, then how important are those beliefs?
Right.
You know, because people will always go, "Oh, I remember hearing this, especially when I was younger. I would die for my family. I'd do this, right?" But are you defending your family when someone cuts them down and says something mean about them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're not. You're not gonna.
Do you really care?
You're not gonna die for them when it really matters. Then,
Right.
if you're more concerned about how Miss Guinevere down the street, what her opinion is about you, than you doing the right thing, even though it looks foolish.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to biblical times. Think about Noah and the ark. Think how foolish he had have looked at the time building this big old boat when in reality rain really wasn't a thing at that time.
Right.
People would be like,
"You're crazy.
What are you talking about? This thing? What are you talking about? We're all going to die. What are you talking about? Why are you building a boat?"
Yeah.
But he was doing the crazy thing, and still,
Stuck to it, and well, look what happened.
Look what if Jesus all of a sudden would have gone, "Oh, they think I'm foolish for giving up my life. I better just do what they think is the best thing, because obviously these are learned scholars, and I must do what the Sadducees and that say."
Right. Yeah.
Guess what? we would still be performing sacrifices at the altar of lambs and all that.
Yeah. Well, it would make what he said, but it would have a bad reflection of what he claimed in the beginning. I guess it would just make what he says maybe not quite as important or true as he had said in the beginning. I guess, because he was saying that this was the way he had to do it, by going to the cross. But then if he changed his mind afterwards, I guess they'd be like, "Oh, well then maybe you can't really take everything he says as final, true, whatever." I guess because I feel like that's such a huge example. But just like simple things. Going to, I don't know, my nephew and I, okay, we'll hang out this Friday, and it'll be great. And then Friday comes up, some other plan comes, next time or whatever, you just start to, no, this didn't happen. I'm not saying this happened, but well, in a sense it kind of did, but it wasn't on my behalf. But it's like you ruin, I guess you're not taking us seriously when you back out of things or make excuses to get around things and whatnot, and it's just, it ruins trust, I guess, is the bottom line. Because then maybe my nephew would never want to hang out with me again. He'd be like, no, you're just going to do what you did last time, and we're not going to hang out, and it's just never going to happen, so whatever. I'm going to go do my own thing. And then the relationships are ruined, and then it just becomes distant and sad, and boom.
Welcome to therapy sessions.
Yeah. Again, that did not happen, but it's just some example. Because we did have he did come over Friday night. We had a sleepover and got a ton of snacks that were not needed. And yeah.
Yep.
But no, it kept getting postponed. One, because he wasn't feeling well, and then another week he had some family thing, and then finally this week it happened. But so it wasn't on me. I wasn't canceling. I stuck to it this time.
But I really like the last part about the last half of this phrase. What people see about you will speak more loudly than how people feel about you. In other words, what people see you doing is going to say more than how they feel. Like they go, I do not like that person. He has too scraggly of a beard. It's just ugly. But I see that he's doing the right thing. Okay, he's helping the little old lady out of the ditch. Hate or love you, like or dislike the beard, they're gonna go, you know what? You're doing the right thing.
Hopefully.
Well, in that case, where you're helping the lady out of the
ditch.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's the phrase is, what people see about you will speak more loudly than how people feel about you.
Mm-hmm. One thing that makes me, I agree with that.
But
I feel like some people can have such a hatred for people that even if you're doing the right thing, they'll make some kind of reason to like make it out to be bad.
Right.
I guess. And now granted, that's where as an individual, if that is happening and you're seeing something like that happen, that's where you should be like, I guess in a sense, do your own research and get your own opinion for yourself and not just rely on other people that are just blinded by their own nasty feelings towards somebody. If that's the case, I guess. Because, man, I don't know. I feel like some people could be doing good things, and people are just going to hate them just to hate them because of other stuff. Which is unfortunate, but...
Oh, yeah, there's always reasons to hate someone. We can always find that, and unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of it.
And I hate anyone who engages in cancel culture. And hate is a very strong word.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't say hate. I very much dislike. How about that?
I don't know. I mean,
because we are told in the Bible, hate is a very strong, very destructive thing. And while I feel like personally, me, I want to go, yeah, it probably deserves that label hate. I also understand the context and the connotation that comes with the word hate from a biblical standpoint. So therefore,
right,
I have to go, I very much dislike cancel culture participants. Now, I will reserve the word hate for anyone who peddles in child pornography.
Oh gosh, yeah, that is the act of that deserves much hate. Because I'm, gosh, I don't know if this is how poorly I know my Bible, but talking about like hating the sin but loving the sinner kind of thing. Because sin is definitely something that we should hate and go against. No, I don't know. I guess that's the question could you consider like partaking in like a cancel culture type of thing? Could you put that in line with the sin? I don't know.
I don't know if
I wouldn't say sin, but
well,
maybe. I don't know, because I mean, it's like by doing that, you're trying to destroy someone's way of life,
right?
Or their ability to have a life, in a sense.
So, okay, let's go back to the very basics.
Yeah.
What is the biblical definition of sin?
Sin?
Uh-huh.
Gosh, I guess I've never thought of the biblical definition of sin. What other definition would there be?
Like, if you had explained to someone who didn't understand what the concept of sin was, how do you explain that?
Anything against God.
Okay.
Which could be, or anything against his, I guess, like, well, what...
It would be breaking or transgression against God's law.
Wasn't
That's what sin is.
Yeah.
Breaking
Yeah.
or
Aggressing.
transgression of God's law.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how you define sin. So, cancel culture as a whole.
Right.
Is there something about God's law that you can extrapolate out to say that cancel culture is therefore then sin?
Right.
In one sense, yes. Let's go back to the Ten Commandments. Even we are told not to, do false witness against our neighbors, and that not to hold hatred, not to hate. And guess what? Hey, guess. Well, I would say, yeah. So, so Ten Commandments, don't false witness. So, in other words, don't manipulate the words. And you're manipulating the words in order to cause someone harm. That is breaking that 10th commandment. We're also told in the Bible not to hate. Guess what? Hatred is you have cancel culture. How can you tell me that they're not saying I hate this person or I hate what they did?
There's some hatred that's brewing from that.
So is cancel culture sin? Not directly, but the actions on which cancel culture is based are very sinful.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That old saying or phrase or whatever, the old proverb, the old wisdom, the old saying of the tongue, 2 wrongs don't make a right. That's true here too.
Right. Yeah.
What? What?
I'll say even if you would consider what Gina said is wrong.
Right.
But
still, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
No, yeah.
But nowadays, current culture, 2 wrongs definitely make a right, as long as it's the right that I want to be the right.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
The right of the wrong. It's in the yes. And ugh.
So, any final comments?
I had one as you were talking, but then now I completely forgot it.
All right.
Yeah, it had something. Well, yeah, something. Hopefully, this new step in Gina's career will go well for her, and she can make a living off of it. You know what? And hopefully, maybe Disney will be like, "Oh, we could use you again."
Oh, they've already said they're not going to rehire her. So
you know what? Disney, change your mind. No, they won't.
Wait, are you stealing a Steven Crowder bit?
What? No, yeah, change my mind.
I'm sorry, we're not doing Steven Crowder.
No, we're not. No. But no, I guess I hope it goes well for Gina. And you know what? Disney, you do whatever you want to do, I suppose.
So you're telling Disney do Disney? Disney,
Yeah,
you
Disney,
do you?
You do you, Disney.